Previously on the Jay and Dan podcast.
These trucks last night, they just spray their liquid all over the road.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. Spray my liquid all over the road. Or at least I used to before I got married.
She's like, oh, I still remember when you had them. I was working in the garden. And you came out and you fell to the ground and said, I can't take it anymore.
She's like, I think you have shingles.
This is some hot foreplay.
Oh, yeah. And then we Now, who wouldn't want to see Bobby Lee's tiny penis on national television?
He pulled it out, looked at it, and said, look good, really good. Anyway.
What, really good?
Yeah.
No, senor! No, senor! No, senor!
You're listening to the Jay and Dan podcast.
Get the shingles out of me. The shingles out of me right now. That's.
Hey there. Hey. Is that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Had audio issues.
Oh, God.
We're halfway through. We're halfway through January, and I don't know what your weather's like where you are in this country because I don't live with you, but we here.
But I bet you wish everyone who's listening wishes they did live with Dan.
We here in the region we live in, we discussed this on the way over to the podcast, Scarborough. We have had barely any bad weather.
Yeah, it's been really
no storms.
A really reasonable winter.
And I know I'm jinxing us now because we're going to get a huge dump.
Big time. Somebody's going to take a gigantic dump on our faces.
I was watching CP24, which you do at the dentist's office in this area. That's the only time you watch it. Except to see our good friend, and Gurdeep. Yes.
And here in our radio studio, it's also on all the time.
Yes. It's wherever you go into business, it's on.
Yeah. Former TSN anchor Gurdeep Alawali is a huge star on that network on the morning show.
And so I was watching that, and I saw it was the 20-year anniversary of the Army clearing the snow in Toronto.
And no matter where we go all over the country, we do speaking gigs and stuff, and no matter where we go, people always mention that. Yeah, remember they had to call the Army in for the snowstorm?
That's when Mel Lastman was mayor.
Mayor Mel Lastman. What a legacy. He called in the Army for the snowstorm, and then he built a subway that goes really nowhere. It kind of goes, it's one track. Now, I like it because it goes, I would have liked it when I was working at the old TSN building. It would have gone right to Shepherd Avenue and Vic Park, and I could have got off there. But it's really only serving his constituents of North York and no one else. So way to go, Mayor Mel. But now in hindsight, Mayor Mel, because he was always seen as kind of a crazy guy. He owned a furniture store, and he had these commercials.
Nobody.
Yeah, he had these crazy commercials. Can we call up one of his commercials, stuff? For people who don't know, Mayor Mel Lastman, God rest his soul. But remember when he was the mayor? So he's always the mayor of North York because he was sort of a legend in North York. Mel Lastman Square up there, I think, is the thing. And then the GTA comes together, and they get one mayor for the whole GTA, and he wins it. He's the mayor, and everyone's like, what a crazy guy. Well, and then we had Rob Ford. And now Doug Ford is our premier. Do we have any Mel Lastman bad boy furniture ads?
Stuff.
Bad boys overbought! Help! Right now on all furniture, save up to half price. That's savings big time. Who's better for furniture?
Nobody!
Nobody!
Nobody! Nobody!
That's savings big time. Bad boys overbought! Help! Right now on all appliances, save a fortune. That's
This
savings
is his son.
big time. Who's better for appliances?
Nobody!
Who's better for furniture? Nobody!
There he
His
was.
dad.
He was
That's
at
his
the end.
pop right there. Oh, that was a good chat about Mel Lastman. Hey, Dan, we were just talking before we came on with the podcast about I guess they call it the 10-year challenge. Stoff, have you heard about this, the 10-year challenge?
No, I have not.
So on Instagram, and you post a picture of yourself from 10 years ago on the left and then a recent picture on the right. And I guess you talk about how you've changed and grown as a person or whatever it is. And God, it annoys me all to hell. It just annoys me beyond belief. You know what it is? It's just fishing for compliments. It's just, you're posting that kind of and you're like, everyone comment on how great I look, how I haven't changed. In fact, how I'm better than I ever was before, and I'd never go back to the person I was.
Erica Rhodes, a very funny comedian, she sent out this tweet about that. She said, "We barely care what you look like now, let alone 10 years ago."
Now, honestly, like, who started that?
I don't know.
But don't people have more to do? I mean, I don't have a lot to do, and I won't do it.
Yeah, well, I can give you a mental picture of what ours would look like 10 years ago. You and I would be still sitting beside each other in very ill-fitting suits.
Yeah, the suits are the only thing that really has changed.
My hair would have been not as gray.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe a little more salt and pepper. Well, would it have been more a little brown with flecks of gray, like the Just for Men ad where you just comb in some gray?
So that's what we look like, and you look the same.
My forehead was gigantic then, and it remains gigantic now. And nobody cares either way. No one cares about no one cares what you look like, the personal growth you've had. No one.
I've had no personal growth.
You've actually regressed.
I've regressed.
Yeah.
I've regressed.
You've regressed significantly as a human being in 10 years. You're a case study, actually, for like a psychology class. How to regress as a person. And now you're trying to decide where to go away on a fun-filled weekend. Maybe we should let the podcast listeners decide. We could put up a poll.
Come on, it'll be fun.
No, because I've got to pay for it. I was going to go to New Orleans in a couple weeks, but the flight's out of control.
I wonder why. Is it Mardi Gras?
I don't know. So we've discussed this before, and everyone's going to laugh, but Pittsburgh is supposedly a good city to visit now.
Apparently, Pittsburgh's really hip and cool now.
And you can be there in, like, from where we are, 5 hours.
Oh, to drive.
Yes.
I thought you were flying. I'm like, who are you flying on? Some sort of tin can? But would you drive? You just hop in the car and drive down there?
Well, again, I make this argument. It's an hour drive from my house to the airport.
Yeah, you're a long way from the airport.
And then you've got an hour wait for your flight. Then the flight's going to be an hour. So by by flying, you might save like 30 minutes.
But also, you don't have to drive. Like, you just get there. And you could be drunk the whole time.
But
you could drink the whole time, and I know that's big on you.
Have you seen the lineups for the airports now in the States?
He drinks at lunchtime.
So you got to get the Nexus. The Nexus cards.
But they've got the strike going on, the shutdown because of Trump.
Right.
And
the TWA or whatever. Is that what it is? No, not
TSA.
TSA.
TWA was a former airline.
That's right. The TSA. God, I feel so sorry for those people. And
Someone took a video of the lineup at the Atlanta airport today, and they said they talked to one guy at the in the line. He'd already waited an hour and a half, and he still had about a half hour to go.
I'm going to the States in March. I'm going down to Palm Springs. Should I be worried? That airport's so chill, though. It's practically like a food truck.
Oh, it's out of a movie.
Yeah, it's so amazing. It's like outdoor. You land, and you get off the plane, you're outside already. It's great.
When was the last time you drove across the border?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I'll tell you. It's so long ago. It's probably 10 years ago.
You could have done a, hey, this is where I was 10 years ago.
This is where I was.
Crossing the border.
Driving across the border to see Pearl Jam at the HSBC Arena in Buffalo. I'm pretty sure that would have been the last time I would have driven. It might even been longer ago than that. No, because that was my first, it was like 15 years ago. I don't even know what I was doing 10 years ago.
Is Buffalo a hot city to visit?
I don't think.
Okay. How was the Pearl Jam concert?
They're always great because, people have a love-hate relationship with that band. I kind of grew up with them. I get it. They're not for everybody. But if you go see them live, you'll be converted because they'll play for, they're that kind of band that plays for 2.5 hours. And the set list changes every night.
Jeremy's smoking.
Guess we're going to open with a deep album track. Jeremy fooled ya. Eddie Vedder gets all vaudeville as he gets older. I can't believe he's like 54 years old.
And I can't believe we talked to him on FaceTime while in Russia. That's when Chris Chelios, he's like, hey, I'm just talking to my buddy, Eddie. And we're like, hey, Eddie. Oh, it's Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, that's right. Was he talking to him in Hawaii? Was he in Hawaii?
I don't know. I just knew
they're buds.
We were in the Russia, or the Hawaii of Russia.
What could
Sochi.
Chelly and Eddie been talking about at that moment?
I don't know. They're proud of the Malibu Mafia.
Hey, we're going to go to Nobu when I get back? Yeah, man. We'll go to Malibu.
But remember, Chelios had just learned how to use FaceTime while we were in Russia as well. So it was like a revelation.
Yeah, Chelios, there should be a reality show about that guy. He's living the life.
Yeah.
Living in Malibu. He's paddle boarding. He's going to Nobu. He's traveling to Russia. He was in Pyeongchang with us as well. Not with us, but he was with the U.S. Olympic team.
He wanted nothing to do with us.
No, I saw him in the bar.
I know.
What was it? Cafe Nuts?
Yeah.
I saw him in the bar. He was feeling no pain, as my dad used to like to say. He was feeling no pain.
Cafe Nuts, the bar that we always thought we were going to die in.
Yeah, that was the bar that was triple capacity every night.
And I still remember I asked a local, do you have fire regulations here? They're like, what's that? And then I explained it.
For the Koreans.
And then they laughed.
They laughed. Hey, speaking of the Olympics, big news, lots of traction for our next Olympic trip, which will be the Tokyo 2020 Summer Olympics. And we will surely, just as we did in Korea, we will surely continue the podcast while we are at the Olympics. We'll do 2 podcasts while we're over there.
And the Summer Olympics are longer.
Well, are they 2 weeks?
No, I think they're longer. I think they're like 2.5.
No, they're a couple of days longer. That's right.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like 2.5 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think they start like midweek, couple of days.
Yeah, because they have so many more events.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I thought they were all 2 weeks still. Oh, I didn't get the memo.
We've got to start
3
brushing up
extra
on our contacts for the Summer Olympics because we are embedded with the Winter Olympians.
Well, the thing is, Dan, we're not as good as we are at the Winter Games.
Yeah, but still, we need to get out there.
We're not as good at that games. We don't have this. We don't have the summer as long. So that makes sense. Oh, it's going to be great. Tokyo's the best city, and we're going to provide comprehensive coverage. I'll have showed up 3 days late, thinking that the summer games were 2 weeks. All right, guys, ready for day 1? What? Day 4? What? God damn it. I missed it. Anyway,
Producer
progress.
Tim might quit by then.
Yeah, progress has been made on our trip to Tokyo, so just letting everybody know to expect some terrific coverage of that on our television program. And yes, producer Tim already dreading that trip. Very upset about that trip.
Yeah.
Dan, a lot of people sent us a commercial.
Oh, I love this.
A lot of people sent this to us. One of the most famous podcasts we did was the Stranger Danger podcast, where we watched the Stranger Danger video, the world famous Stranger Danger video, and just died laughing after every clip. Well, a bunch of people sent us this commercial. Christoph, you want to play it to us?
Hey kid, would you like some drugs? The first one is free.
Want to check out my van? I got some candy.
Hey kid, want to join our gang and spray paint under a bridge?
No, bug off, man. I'm going roller skating. Addicted to roller skating, not crack. Because we roller skate today, we will go to college tomorrow. Prison is full of people that have never roller skated.
I'm Brad Armstrong, owner of Roller Kingdom in Reno, Nevada, keeping your kids off the streets since 1999.
I say no to drugs. I say no to gangs.
I say no to unplanned pregnancy.
I say no to meth. I say no to reefer. I say yes to roller skating.
Man, this Roller Kingdom is really putting us out of business.
You said it, man. This deal sucks.
But you know what? Maybe we should give up this life of crime and start roller skating!
Brilliant.
I gotta say, I thought that commercial was ending many different times throughout that commercial, and they kept it going and kept it going. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Brilliant. The amount of play that they've got out of that.
Yes, it's genius. And especially roller. You don't think of roller skating something that's really current, really hot now.
Because
maybe it's due for a resurgence.
Well, there are not many roller rinks around.
Right.
I don't know where any are.
Are there any in Toronto?
I can look that up here, I guess.
Does Wild Water and Wheels have a roller rink on it?
No.
No?
They barely have water.
I got a lot of messages from people who spend a lot of quality time at this place.
See how good it feels. Family fun for everyone. This is the place where you gotta be. You got the time of your life, and wild water.
Okay. You're in luck. You've got Scooter's Roller Palace.
Oh.
In Mississauga.
Oh, man. That sounds like a front for some sort of drug thing.
You've got Centennial Park Skating Club in Etobicoke.
What? There's multiple roller rinks in the GTA?
You've got the Coach Light Roller Gardens in Oshawa.
Hold on. You lived in Oshawa. You live close to Oshawa now, and you haven't been to the Coach Light Roller Gardens?
That's crazy. Here's someone's review of the Coach Light Roller Gardens. Kids' parties like it was 1978. The decor hasn't changed since 1978.
I love that.
So it was very authentic. They loved it still, which is why I gave it 4 stars.
I am so fired up.
You gotta wonder about your life when you're going online to rate a roller rink in Oshawa. You gotta take a little step back and assess the choices you've made.
But everyone loves it. The interior of the roller rink feels amazing. It feels like a trip back to the 80s.
Hey, we should, you know what? Why don't we do that for our staff holiday party? Producer Tim could foot the bill. Stuff, right? We could all go.
I'm in.
Tim pays. Tim is absolutely right now listening to this podcast and so angry that we're suggesting he spend money on his staff. He said last year that he did the classic mistake of not spending the entire budget of the show.
Yeah.
And then you just lose it. So every time we suggest he does something, I just see Jeff O'Neill on the television. By the way, Jeff is our guest on the podcast today. It's pretty exciting. We love having Jeff on. Wonder what he'll have to say.
Yeah,
Hope he found his gold medal.
The first revelation from Tim was that our show had a budget.
He likes to keep the money. See, that's why I think he's pocketing all that cash for cigs and Diet Pepsis.
Yeah, we had to buy some highlighters.
Yeah, we don't have any money. With what money? Every time we suggest we get pizza for the crew. I'm not getting pizza. Those guys can themselves.
I should have booked little Ruby O'Toole's birthday party at this roller rink. I know exactly where that is. I've driven by it a million times. I thought it was abandoned.
Well, it's not. And now Ruby O'Toole's birthday dreams are going to come true.
No, we're having a massive slime party. So I'm building industrial. I'm not building. I'm buying industrial size portions of glue, shaving cream, and contact solution, which you need to make slime. And they're going to make a big, like, swimming pool size of slime. That's all kids of that age want to do. And everyone who has a child around 7 or 8 will know exactly what I'm talking about because they're addicted to slime.
So are you going to have like a bunch of kiddie pools? Yeah.
I got to buy something. I got to find it. I don't know.
You know what you do? You take them over to producer Tim's house.
Or they can do it in the bathtub.
Tim's got a hot tub.
Does he?
Fill it with slime.
He doesn't have a hot tub.
He's got a hot tub. He'll be in it. And send the kids in there with him. Join Tim in there. He may or may not be nude. He's definitely smoking a dart, and he's definitely drinking a Diet Pepsi.
Speaking of buying supplies, have you been to Michael's ever?
I'm sure I have, but I don't recall ever having been there, to be honest. I don't have any reason to craft.
I tell my kids, hey, I'll play any sport you want outside. I'll run around. I'll read books with you. I don't do crafts. Told him that. I said, I just don't do it. But you still have to go there, buy supplies. So I sent out a tweet last week, and the responses are pretty fantastic. My tweet was, I've been to Michael's approximately 10 times in my life. The average checkout time of the customer in front of me is 38 minutes.
Why is that?
Because they've coupons.
Oh, coupons.
Stoff, have you been?
I've been. For me, the thing that sticks out is the smell in there. It makes me nauseous.
What is it? Is it
It's like
glue?
glue. And
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like that. Maybe I should spend more time at Michael's.
And,
Where'd you hang out on Friday? I was at Michael's for 5 hours. Just sat down in one of the aisles and just breathed in.
And Phil, who we've worked with, he still works here at TSN, right? Yeah, pretty sure.
Scooter? Is that who you're talking about?
No, Phil Maryville.
Yeah, Scooter. Isn't that Phil Maryville? I don't know.
You're thinking of another Phil that used to work here.
I can't keep these Phils. I can't keep track of all
His
the fucking
response
Phils
was,
here.
counting glitter individually really slows down the process.
Yeah. You're saying it's just the coupons? That's the reason that everyone takes 30 minutes to check out?
I don't know. I want to yell. I'm like, what the are you doing up there? But you
Hey,
can't.
crafters, hurry the up with your scissors and paper.
It's hilarious, though, when I walked in there, because I had to buy glue. The lady, they must notice us when we come in, because she's like, you need help, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
You've got the desperate look of a desperate man on your face.
I said, I just need glue. That's all I need. And then I'm out of here.
Why do you go to, like, Shoppers or something? Why?
Because I had to buy, like, things like this size of glue, like gallons.
What about Costco?
I don't go to Costco.
I don't either. I can't judge you for that. Not that I'm nothing against Costco. It's just too far from my house. And we don't need giant things of everything. Like, we're a small, young family. Well, my kids are young and my wife is, but I'm not. But there's young people in the family, and I don't need a tub of butter.
I don't have Costco membership money. I can't afford a membership there. What's it, like $800 a month?
Actually, a tub of butter would be pretty fun.
Yeah, and it's a very impersonal shopping experience.
Well, you get all the samples, though. Everyone is raving about the samples. Ooh, jalapeno poppies. Come get your poppies. I'd like to see Toolsy working at a place like that for like a week. Like, Toolsy would be, a great show would be like Toolsy, Undercover Employee, where Toolsy goes to work at various places like Michael's, like Costco, like the roller rink in Oshawa, and has to just pose as just a regular guy working there. Oh, and the cameras follow you.
I think we've got a TV show, CTV. You can put that on Crave tomorrow.
Come on. People would love it.
What would you call it?
Tools of the trade. Boom! Toolsy of the trade. Boom.
Am I going in to fix the business or just blend in?
You're going in to blend in, I think. You're going in to try to just pass as a regular employee.
I can do that.
And not, like, make too much of a stink, which I feel like you will. Every time. That'll be the great part of the show. You won't be able to help yourself.
I was undercover when I was in a store the other day, and I'm like, I recognize that voice. I ran into a person that I used to work with back in the mid-'90s when I was a dishwasher at a restaurant. So I'm like, and I said the restaurant, I said, the Park Hill Cafe, you used to work there, right? And she's like, yes. And looked at me like I was the craziest human on earth. So I told her I used to wash dishes there. And she's like, you did? Like, yeah.
See, this is the premise of Toolsy of the trade.
So
you blend it into that restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to be that when you go to work at Michael's, it'll be the same thing.
I've pumped gas. I've washed dishes. I can do it.
Toolsy of the trade coming to Crave TV soon. Hey, Stoff, you got some podcast news for us as we settle into 2019? Someone yesterday in my daughter's dance class said Happy New Year.
Yeah, the cutoff is.
Are we past the cutoff
Well,
now?
tomorrow's going to be the 5th. Tomorrow's the cutoff.
She hadn't seen me since the New Year, so I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I haven't seen some people. Do I have to say multiple Happy New Years if I haven't seen them in a couple years?
You haven't seen them for 10 years. You got to start off by saying 10 Happy New Years.
You know what my New Year's resolution
It's
was
like
going to
saying
be?
Hail Marys for forgiveness.
Speaking of talking to people, my New Year's resolution, I was like, I'm going to personally call every person on my phone.
I like that.
And then I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Not happening.
That could be another show. Just Dan calls people he hasn't talked to for a long time.
The first one is a guy who hired us at Fox. Actually, I would call and talk to him. Scott Ackerson.
Yeah, I do like Axe. He's a good guy.
I saw him when I was in the desert before.
He's in Palm Springs living the life. Okay.
And the next one is an
podcast
Alex. I don't know who this Alex is.
It's not important. Podcast news.
This is Jay and Dan, podcast news.
What do we got first, Christoph?
All right, first up, we got through the Roller Kingdom, so we'll bypass that quickly. And we have Donald Trump, who will be hosting the Clemson Tigers, the national champions football team, at the White House today. And have you guys heard what they're going to be having for dinner?
I did see that.
So, you got to. Do you have a clip for us?
Yeah, I got a clip from Trump explaining exactly what they'll be serving.
Okay, I can't wait to hear this.
The Clemson championship team, the national championship team, will be coming tonight. It'll be exciting. A very great team, an unbelievable team. They'll be coming tonight, and I think we're going to serve McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King's with some pizza. I really mean it. It'll be interesting, and I would think that's their favorite food. So we'll see what happens.
Burger King's
I
with
would
some
think
pizza.
I would think it's their favorite foods.
And he later explained they had to do this because of the shutdown.
The shutdown, yes.
So they had to order takeout.
So basically, he's I guess he's footing the bill. So
Right. So he wants to go cheap.
Fast food.
The other thing I've heard about him, and this is no joke, is that he is a fast food junkie. Like he on Air Force One will like eat KFC.
He loves his McDonald's apparently.
Yeah, he's just like obsessed with fast food. That's all he eats. Like for a guy who grew up with all that money, he likes trashy grub.
His yearly physical's coming up.
Oh, well,
What?
that doctor's.
Hey, Dad, I'm the most fit president.
No,
ever.
remember the last time that doctor? He's like a 50-year-old man. Yeah, that's. What would happen if he just died tomorrow? Like he was just dropped dead, like
Pence?
a clogged artery. Pence would come in.
Yeah,
Look out, gay people.
Even scarier.
God.
I saw the video of the Big Macs and everything set out on the table. Every time I see, like, they're in the boxes. They're not like uncovered. Every time I see a Big Mac box, I want a Big Mac.
I know, they're so great. They're so great. Remember, Toolsy, what we had for our midnight lunch at the wedding?
Burgers.
We had McDonald's.
I know, it was awesome.
It was like a huge hit. And you know who went and got it? Producer Tim.
And everyone should copy that because, yeah, you can't go wrong. You don't want sandwiches.
Or the poutine station. It's been done a million times. We get it.
Stick that meat in my mouth and get on with it.
Get that hot beef in Dan's craw so we can head off to the Oshawa roller rink. Toolsy, that's where you should take your ladies on dates.
I'm okay.
That would be a good dating show where every woman you dated, you took to the Oshawa roller rink and you skated around with her and got to know her a little bit. And then...
Then off to McDonald's for
dinner.
dinner.
And then it was sponsored by McDonald's. McDonald's Dan O'Toole roller dates. Coming to Crave.
No, we already have our Crave ID. Crave idea.
I want a whole Crave sub-channel of O'Toole shows. That's all I would subscribe to.
It is the golden age of TV, and we need Canadian content.
Big time. Big time. Okay, what's next, Steph?
All right, so on Saturday night, the Kings held a Snoop Dogg night, and Snoop was pretty much all over the place. He also made his way into the play-by-play booth. So I got a couple of clips here if you guys want to hear them.
Let's hear them.
Here we go. Give me that. Here we go. SMD, turn it around. Push it, run the weave. Come on now. Hands up. Oh, watch out. Oh, he stole on him. He fired on Cuz. Hold on now. Oh, get it cracking then. Let's go. Snoop Dogg in the house. Let me see some. Look at that Doty. Oh, yeah. Doty. That's my dog.
Doty.
So he just wakes up, gets baked, goes watch hockey.
What a life.
Nobody lives a better life than Snoop Dogg.
Remember, he quit weed for a bit.
He's a Crip. He's a certified gang member.
Yeah.
He came through that pretty well. And he was also in Starsky and Hutch, the movie.
And he hosts a show with Martha Stewart.
Yep. Yeah.
He hosts
it's a cooking show. Yeah.
Wow.
And then he hosts a game show, Joker's Wild.
Yes, he does. I've seen that actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically if you wave money in front of Snoop, he's there.
Yeah, and he's a
little bit like us that way.
Well,
Exactly.
Speaking of which, we have this other clip where he's wondering why no one's taking a shot on the power play.
Oh, okay.
Take a shot. Somebody got to be willing to take a shot. It can't be all passes. Somebody got to want that money. Who want the money? Who want the money? Somebody got to want that moolah.
I get it. I understand it. He's very much like I do like Doty.
Doty. And he's got his own line of weed, his own strain.
That seems like that was inevitable. Yeah, no, Snoop Dogg. Good guy. I like him.
And he's also, I think he's
got emojis.
He's a player in one of the weed companies here in Canada, too.
Oh. No, who isn't really? I know Christoph is.
Big time.
Doty is. And the guy who owns the roller rink in Oshawa, he's got a weed company.
Doty.
Have you heard about all this stuff happening, Toolsy, at the LCBOs?
The thefts?
Yeah. What the living fuck? This is what I've been saying forever about these government liquor stores.
What's that?
They shouldn't exist. They should be privatized. Everyone knows my feelings on this. The fact that we all have to go to the same store to buy our liquor is so archaic. It's like communism.
But how's that going to stop the thieving?
Because if you're a person, an individual who owns a store, it's like someone who owns a Shoppers Drug Mart. People are stealing things, you're hiring security. Mm-hmm. So is the government, I guess, too cheap to hire security or something? They literally, LCBO tells their employees not to confront these people who steal things, right? They tell them that. Don't confront them. That's why people are just walking out. They're just literally walking into stores. Just as I was driving in, I was listening to this former food critic for Toronto Life, Chris Nuttall-Smith. I think he's on Top Chef Canada. He said some guy just walked into his LCBO. He just talked about it. Took a ton of single malt scotches, threw them into a backpack, and walked out the door. And it's happening all the time because the employees are told not to confront anyone. So is this just going to continue forever?
Yeah, the employees. Why would you risk your life if you're getting paid
exactly.
Anyway?
I totally don't blame the employees, but obviously they need to. Do they not have security guards at a government liquor store? Isn't that something we should probably pay for?
Well, we are getting closer to having it available everywhere because it's available in grocery stores now.
Beer.
And wine.
Well, but not all wine. Not like good wine.
Yeah, you can still get it, which is every time I do buy a bottle of wine at the grocery store, I'm still amazed. I'm like, hey, remember you couldn't get any of this stuff.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, the beer, you're getting all the beer. That I'll give them that. Just privatize it. Alberta's had that for all this time, and it's been
biggest liquor buyer
good.
in the world.
It's fantastic.
And what are we making in taxes off the LCBO?
Oh, I know we're making a lot of money on it, but
oh, I know, but why don't we ever see those numbers? I want to see numbers.
Yeah.
I'm a big numbers guy.
Doug. I thought when Doug said he'd privatize the weed stores, I was like, okay, that's good. Now privatize the liquor stores, man. And listen, I understand LCBO employees. It's a great job. You don't want to lose your job. I get it. I understand. It's not about you. I hope that you guys get jobs at all these privatized liquor stores that Dan and I own when they privatize it. Jay and Dan's Liquor Barn.
Jay and Dan's Liquor Hole.
Hey, fill your hole with this. Hey, our guest on the show today.
Who's that?
Is Jeff O'Neill, former
right.
NHL star, and now current media star for TSN. He is part of the three-headed ratings monster in the afternoon, TSN's Overdrive afternoon Toronto radio show. And then, of course, he's an analyst on TSN for various properties. The Leafs, the World Juniors. He hasn't been on the Jay and Dan television show yet, but that changes on Monday or Tuesday morning, depending on when you want.
That's right. So we're going to talk to him on the TV side, and then we're going to record the whole time before the interview. Hopefully we can before the interview, during the interview, and then after the interview, and place it all into this podcast.
Right now. This is maybe the greatest moment in the very short history of this television show, because Jeff O'Neill finally has graced us with his presence on the TV side. It's been a long time. We're so happy to have you, buddy.
I'm so disappointed. I wanted to start at the other set and walk over.
I know. You've talked about, you also said maybe you just wanted to stay over there and not come over into these chairs.
I don't like sitting here.
These chairs are comfy, though.
Yeah.
I know, but I don't like it. You know why, and don't bring it up again.
Okay, we won't. Can we bring the Leafs up? You're going to have to talk about them a lot. You host, along with Jamie McLennan and Brian Hayes, a very popular afternoon radio show where you have to talk about the Leafs constantly. Right now, what's the state of Leafs Nation?
I don't think it's good for the Leafs as a whole, and probably Jake Gardiner. I think just in their own zone, and the big talk of the last couple of weeks has been, are they tough enough in their own zone? There's enough grit, and it's really showing right now. Just, missed assignments, attention to detail, effort. It was all not there tonight. Usually when you can miss one. I mean, attention to detail is not there. You can make up for it. Like, I was a bad defensive zone player, but I would run around and hit people if I was ever confused, and it made it look like I knew what I was doing. And you kind of could somehow make up for it with that, but they didn't have either tonight. There was lack of effort. You saw in that Jake Gardiner goal where Soderberg just out-muscled him. It looked like it was his older brother just going in there and taking the puck off him. And it wasn't good. It's kind of the first time where Mike Babcock, I think, is going to be really pissed off. Like, there's been times before where he's like, we've been playing really good, but tonight we got our lunch handed to us. And there's been other times where it's like, tired coming back from the West Coast. I think tonight's effort and their whole output tonight, he's going to be pissed off at that one.
And the fans were booing Gardner. So what do you say to Leafs fans that were booing one of their players? And what do you say as a teammate if you were a teammate of Gardner's in that room?
I mean, what are you going to say, Danny? I mean, shake it off. I mean, everybody knows what's going on. And I think this doesn't really stem from tonight. It goes back to Game 7 last year against the Boston Bruins, where he was -5, and it seemed like he was out there for almost everything.
He's like the modern-day Larry Murphy for the Leafs now.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's getting extreme. And the whole term, like getting Larry Murphy in this town, I think that, he does enough positives, and he's a 50-point defenseman. So if you want to be idiotic and try to boo this guy out of town, go ahead and do it, if that's what you really want to do. But I think that if you just take a step back and look what he brings to the team on a nightly basis, passes the puck, he moves the puck, he's a great skater, and he does a lot more positive. So if you want to get stupid with this and start booing every time he touches the puck, go ahead. But you're going to have a guy that'll just put his hand up and say, just get me out of here, because I don't want to deal with it.
You mentioned Boston. Obviously, they are struggling to beat Boston. And if they started the playoffs right now, they would play Boston.
Well, it's just a matchup, and I think Brian Hayes kind of summed it up. He's like, everything about this matchup I don't like. It's just the color of the seats in Boston, what happened back in 2013 in Game 7 where they're up 4-1, all of it doesn't seem to add up. And for whatever reason, the Boston Bruins have so many players that step up and seem to elevate against the Maple Leafs, whether it be Pasternak or Chara seems to look like he's 25 against the Maple Leafs. Nobody seems to elevate for the Leafs against the Bruins, and I'm not sure why, but that seems to be the case when they play that team.
Let's get to the Edmonton Oilers. They've got Connor McDavid, and then you kind of fall off a cliff a bit. They are struggling to get into the playoffs. If you took over the team tomorrow, what do you do?
You know what? I think that's the most difficult question in hockey. Like, if you were hired to do the Shanna plan in Edmonton, I don't even know what the steps would be. There's so many holes. And you look at goaltending is a major problem. Their defense is a major problem. And then you go past Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, and Connor McDavid. You look at that roster, and I think somebody said it a couple weeks ago, when you put McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice, they look like one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. And then when they go to the bench, it looks like the worst hockey team in the National Hockey League. So when you go from that, it's an awfully difficult thing. And if I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan, guys, I'm only concerned about one thing. If number 97 goes to the rink one day and says, you know what, I've had enough of this, all the other guys my age or my comparables, whether it be an Austin Matthews or a Sidney Crosby or Jonathan Toews, their teams have all been set up to win it at some time or another, and I really haven't got that opportunity as other than going to the conference finals that one year. So I don't know. The modern day player can just say, you know what, get me the hell out of here because I don't want to be dealing with this.
They've got him signed long term though. They got Draisaitl signed long term, so they kind of control. I don't know. It's a tough situation. Meanwhile, in Calgary, you actually picked Calgary as the team you think will go farthest in the postseason. Are you surprised at how quickly this has turned around for this team?
You know what? I got to give a lot of credit to Tree Living in Calgary. He went out and he needed some upgrades, and he got Lindholm, who's a fantastic right winger. And you look at Carolina, they all they want is offense, and they got rid of Lindholm and Skinner, and they're both having fantastic years. But I watch Calgary a lot, and there's not much not to like. I mean, everything. Their defense core, they move the puck. We've talked for years about how solid their defense core. Johnny Gaudreau has obviously been a fantastic story for the Flames this year. Sean Monahan is a top centerman that doesn't really get enough credit because of all the top elite centermen in the league.
Yeah.
All he does is score goals.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a 30-goal guy, automatic every year. Giordano's been fantastic. I don't know if the goaltending, I don't know if that could really get the job done. I don't know if they can upgrade in that area.
They got Big Save Dave.
Big Save Dave.
You call him Big Save Dave?
That's his nickname, Big Save Dave.
Dave Riddick.
That's a good nickname.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day. I did not
Every
know.
time you're on Jay and Dan.
Do you know what Nick Foles' name is?
Yes,
oh,
we
yeah,
do.
I do, but we can't say
Can't
it.
say that on TV.
Well, we could say it. It's Big Nick.
Hey, you mentioned the Hurricanes. I want to ask you 2 questions about them. So they brought back the Whalers jerseys. You must have been happy about that. And do you like their post-win celebrations?
You know what? I do. I mean, there's some times where I'm like, man, come on, this is the NHL. But I played there for so long, and if it's something that the fans, like if it can get a fan into the building, because I played some games where a Tuesday night and the Ottawa Senators are there, and it's tough sledding down there. So if you could do something different to get somebody in the building, and I know Justin Williams, he takes a lot of pride in that. He's been there a long time. It's his second go around with the Canes, but he's like, look, we're trying to entertain the fans. We're trying to get people in the building. And if that does it somehow, then go ahead and do it. Do I think that some of them are? Of course I do, but
yeah.
what are you going to do?
What's your relationship with the organization? Because that's where you were drafted. You've been vocal about the fact that perhaps you deserve a video tribute and a Jeff O'Neill night.
I never said, Jay, I never said I deserve that.
No, I think
but when you play that, everybody Roman Polak got a video tribute in Toronto. So all I can think of, I don't think I deserve one, but I just think, why didn't I get one?
Right.
I agree.
And it just, every time, Roman Polak, everybody that comes back to Toronto is getting these video tributes, and everybody around the league. So I just thought to myself, like,
you just deserve, yeah.
Yeah, you deserve
that
one.
Yeah, I'm kind of like at the top of a lot of the offensive categories, so I'm like, why not me?
Yeah,
Do you still have your Whalers jersey?
I have my draft jersey in 1994.
Nice.
That's the only one I have.
Was it the blue one?
No, it was the white one.
Oh, the white one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great jerseys. Man, it was great having you on the show, buddy.
Where's this producer Tim guy?
He's in there. He's in the control room. He's real.
Is that the guy with the glasses?
Yeah. He's not happy with you. We've gone way too long. Look, I got an O-Dog pen.
Thanks for being here.
Wow. That was wild. That lived up to the hype. I knew it would be good. I didn't expect it to be that good, Dan. I didn't expect it to be that good.
We could really just do the podcast from over there the whole time, right?
Well,
or is that a pain, stuff?
As of right now, I don't know if we can play like the audio and stuff
That's
out of
the
there.
problem is the
right, the
clips.
drops. Okay.
Yeah, we need the drops, and we need the wild water and
I
wheels.
think eventually, yeah.
At some point, we'll be able to do it.
Eventually, we'll be able to do it from home.
That's your dream, to do not only the podcast but the TV show from home.
Live from Orno.
Well, I mean, I was watching that Jalen and Jacoby show on ESPN, and it seems like they just do it from home. Like Jalen's in his apartment, and Jacoby's in his apartment. And they just put a camera on it, and away they go.
Yeah, we have our hockey insiders from their homes, and it's crystal clear.
That's what I mean. Like, why couldn't you and I do that? But then, see now, if we could do the podcast from home like that stuff, then could you do the drops? If we did it like that, but see, then it would be hard for you to do it live, right? Drop it live. I don't know.
Well, I guess if I was here running it through the board, I could.
Yeah.
Because remember when Bobby was on, it was like he was sitting next to us.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Crystal clear, yeah.
I heard Bobby on Leafs Lunch. That's another TSN radio show.
Yes.
Yeah, it sounded fantastic.
How many radio hits does Bobby do a day or a week?
Oh, with all the stations across the country, I'd say a day probably does 4 or 5 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, he could make a living just doing radio hits.
Oh, yeah.
Or selling the crack that he's been selling out of his Whitby manse for decades.
Or selling books. Who has more books, Duthie or Bob?
Bob for sure, I think. Because Duthie has 3, right? Bob must have more than 3. Oh, look it up. Amazon.ca. Great place to buy your books. I know someone else who has a couple of books on that.
Who's that?
Website. Dave Hodge. Yeah, I love Hodgie so much.
You have an in with him because you guys do your lists every year.
We didn't do it this year.
Oh.
And I got a lot of feedback about that. People were not happy that we didn't do the list of top albums. We called it our annually tolerated albums of the year list. And I would do like 10 and Dave would do like 35. He listens to so much music. I would struggle to get to 10. I'd be like, did Raffi have an album? But anyway, we didn't do it. We just took a break, but maybe we'll bring it back next year. Well, that's it. I think we're done.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Because that was a solidly long interview with the O-Dog.
And he gave us so much good information.
Oh.
And I think the book count is 3-1 for Bob.
No, Duthie has way more than one.
Duthie has 2?
Three. I thought Duthie had 3 books because he has the one about Brian Kilray.
Oh, right. And the Gretzky's one, too.
The Gretzky where he murdered Gretzky's.
And
well,
then
that's not coming up on Amazon. So.
Ooh, Duthie.
Is it out of production?
Not good news for
sold
Duthie.
out, I believe.
Yeah, sold out. Yeah, not available anymore. And then he had the recent one, The Guy on the Left.
Yeah, didn't he just put out old articles in a book?
That was the Gretzky one. The Guy on the Left was like the story of his life. I'm glad you got deep into the literary canon of James Duthie.
He never sent me a copy of that one. I read this other one. I didn't read the Brian Kilray one. Would have liked to because I played for the 67s in their killer years in Ottawa.
Unfortunately, that one's sold out on Amazon.
Ooh, also sold out. So Toolsy missing out on some reads.
It's a big seller. Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
way to
Duthie.
go, James Duthie.
Doing very well
And what
for
are
himself.
Bob's 3?
Bob. What about Bob?
Hockey
And
Dad,
more Bob.
Hockey Confidential and Everyday Hockey Heroes, which is the one that came out just last year.
Right. Okay.
And he might have more. They just sold out on Amazon.
Books, writing a book is so hard. Even hearing the titles of Bob's book gives me anxiety.
Why? Because how long would those take to figure out the title of the book? How many emails
Not the
are
title,
exchanged?
but the actual process of writing and getting it edited and like a year plus.
Ugh.
Of just actual work. I'd much rather do this podcast with you and own our liquor holes.
It's like an audiobook.
Yeah. That was hard work too. That was like 3 days each book. I like the liquor hole idea. And we'd have security.
What?
Single malt.
We sold booze, and we had a weed dispensary and a roller rink all under one roof.
Jane Dan's roller hole.
I'd never go home.
Stuff, your wife, she just called. I'm never leaving the hole.
I know what you call it. Drink, skate, smoke.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not sure, but wouldn't we want to try to get the kids?
You hook them on the smoking.
And the drinking. Hey, have your birthday party at our roller rink emporium. Drink, skate, smoke. Dad and Mom can take a break. We've got one-hitters and plenty of booze for them.
And some chicken fingers for you. Because everyone has chicken fingers, even Tim Hortons now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Timmy's.
You can't go wrong with chicken fingers.
That's all my daughter eats.
That's all anyone gets for room service at a hotel.
She has dysentery, I should mention that. My daughter has dysentery.
She's fine. Okay, well, that was fun. Can't wait to start our new business venture and start the new TV show. Tool time?
Tools of the trade.
Tools of the trade.
You know what? I would like to just issue, as we sign off, a challenge to the podcast listeners to write a jingle for Jay and Dan's liquor hole.
Or drink, skate, smoke, whichever one's easier.
Yeah, whichever one you like best. But send us your jingles, because I really love when people send in jingles. That's a lot of fun. And we'll rate them and judge the best one, just like that guy judged the Oshawa roller rink.
And you can also send in ideas of where we can take Tools of the Trade to what businesses.
Yeah, Tools of the Trade is going to be a huge, huge hit for Crave TV. It's the next Letterkenny.
Now, should I be like a vulgar employee where someone says, hey, can you help me find? I'm like, you.
Yeah, at the Michaels you should. Do you have any doilies for my granddaughter? I want to make... Go yourself, Grandma. Take your old ass out of here. This is Michael's. It's a respectable craft store. Dirty.
Can't say that. Okay, so I don't know if Crave will go for that version, but maybe a toned-down version where I'm nice.
I'd never seen that side of you, so that would be difficult. I don't see that happening personally. But Tools of the Trade, look for that. Streaming soon.
Or they hire me, and I'm undercover. They don't know it's a spoof, and I try to get fired.
Yeah, that could also be good. But, I mean, wouldn't it be easy? Wouldn't you just drop your pants every time and start whacking off like Louis C.K.?
Okay, No, I was thinking more like go for 2-hour lunches.
Okay. I would just whack off.
Drinks at lunchtime.
I would like clear a shelf off and have a nap in the shelf.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure the episode would last that long. We need...
First I build their confidence in my abilities,
okay.
and then I start saying like, yeah.
Meow. You'd start saying meow.
Okay, so yeah, send us your thoughts, your ideas.
Tools of the Trade. I like how, do you notice if you watch TSN and they promote like a lot of CTV shows, now it just says, it doesn't say like, Magnum PI, Tuesdays at 8, and streaming on the CTV app. It just says, Magnum PI, streaming Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? What's cable? We don't even know what that is anymore. All we do is stream. We're totally with it. CTV.
Yet, if you ask my mother, you said, oh, that show's streaming at 8, she'd be like, what?
Yeah. Like, good portion of people, are still, dialing it up on the old TV. Like me.
Me too. I watch TV
I like it
every day.
I like the television.
Well, I hope so, because we work on it.
How long do you think we're going to be able to do that?
Again, I've said this before in the podcast. Every time I come out, my girls are watching YouTube or some other streaming thing that no one else can get. It's illegal.
So your girls are part of the problem.
Yeah, I say,
For us
guys,
here.
watch cable TV. Maybe keep me employed. They're like, why? That's why I make slime. Bleh.
That's Dan's impression of his daughters. I want to make slime. Take me to the roller rink.
All right.
Hi, girls. Daddy's home. Slime. Roller rink. Chicken fingers. You, Dad.
But kids, I can't afford any of those things.
Yeah.
Because you never watched cable TV.
Oh, we've had
at least
fun.
you got a job at Michael's now.
Yeah. Hey, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, I am. And now I'm here. At Michael's.
All because of my kids.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye-bye.